How you doing? It is the radio guy, the Dr. Mike Prince. Welcome to another episode of the Mike Prince Show, coming to you exclusively here on the Open Mic Broadcast Network. Don't forget the Twitter and the Instagram handle is the Mike Prince Show. The website, of course, is obnradio.com. And without any further ado, we'll jump right into today's episode. This was a huge weekend for Prairie View Athletics. Of course, I'm talking about the big win for Prairie View over Pine Bluff. We'll get into that a little bit later on. But it was a big win for Prairie View A&M University's volleyball program. Went down to the SWAC Roundup in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and were able to get their first two conference wins of the season with victories over Alcorn and Mississippi Valley. So Coach Tacho Tyler and the Lady Panthers get back into the swing of things, if you would, to get ready for this conference play. And that was a huge tipping point. And before this weekend's roundup, the Lady Panthers was somewhat in the struggling role, if you would. 0-10 in matches, but was more, concerning. Out of the 32 sets, they'd only won 2 sets, so they seem to be getting things back on course with that and taking care of business. And with the soccer program, many of you may or may not be aware of just how good Howard's soccer program really is. And for the Lady Panthers to go into double overtime and come out with a 0-0 tie, that's speaking volumes on the ladies and the efforts that they put forth on their weekend. So I wanted to get those acknowledgments out of the way, and we'll continue on now to the football segment. We'll start off with our high school coverage from the local area. Hempstead fell short to Houston Fur by the score of 30-23. Royal fell short. We were not able to get who they played, but it was, of course, a UIL opponent. They lost 42-11. Other local scores saw Tomball Memorial victorious over Bryan by the score of 21-14. Madisonville 48, Navasota 21. Sealy 26, Belleville 3. Woodsboro 52, Somerville 6. Schools that had byes this past weekend was Waller, Magnolia, Magnolia West, Tomball, and Brenham. They all had byes on the past weekend. Moving over to the college rank, starting off with the JUCO ranking, Trinity Valley knocked off number 6 Glen Buccaneers by the score of 42-21. So we'll see how far this damages the ranking for the Glen Buccaneers later on this week. The Lincoln Blue Tigers, under Coach Steve Smith, were victorious over Southwest Baptist by the score of 28-13. Lincoln Blue Tigers are now 2-2 on the season, and might I add, they only won 1 game last year. So kudos to Coach Smith and getting the guys back on track. And of course, I would be remiss if we do not bring up the display of dominance that the Prairie View A&M University Panthers put out this past weekend, winning by the score of 62-13 over Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm pretty sure by now you have heard about the record-setting performance that Jalen Morton has accumulated with his stats over the Golden Lions. 255 yards rushing, 256 yards passing for a combined 501 total yards of offense alone. Accounted for 6 touchdowns, 4 rushing, 2 passing. So Jalen Morton, beyond a shadow of a doubt, will be on everyone's player of the week status at this week alone. I can almost guarantee that. Speaking of another guarantee, it is going to now feature the Showdown in Dallas, Texas. Grambling State was victorious over Alabama State making and sending messages themselves by the score of 34-0. Both coaches, both teams will be meeting in Dallas today to begin the festivities. They'll have a press conference. It'll be a little exchange in pleasantries and unpleasantries, little hidden jabs, this, that, and the other. Now will be the true litmus test for both the Grambling State Tigers and the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. Are the Panthers that good? A lot of people are saying that the Panthers are the top team in the West at this point. I'm kind of old school. Until you can beat the man to become the man, you still got to give the man a little bit of respect. And that in the case, the man being the Grambling State Tigers. But it'll all be settled on this 93rd edition of the State Fair Classic this weekend, September 29th in Dallas, Texas. Now, we have dubbed this here at the Open Mic Broadcast Network as Separation Saturday. It is a critical week for the Southwestern Athletic Conference. You have some key matchups. I normally do one matchup plus Prairie View's game for the SWAC game of the week, but I honestly have several games that are going to have an impact on the entire conference and the outcome. Of course, we know Prairie View and Grambling State will do battle at the State Fair Classic. Two other key matchups are going to have Alcorn taking on Southern University for Southern University's homecoming. And another one, of course, is going to be Alabama A&M taking on Jackson State. Now, it's obvious why the Prairie View Grambling game is going to be so critical. Normally, as of late, whoever wins that game goes on to have tremendous success throughout the rest of the season, in particular that of the conference. When it comes to Southern and Alcorn, we technically and truly need Alcorn to win against Southern. If we could win against Grambling, that'll give us a bye week, and leading to the next week, we'll have Southern at home, and then we'll have our destiny in our own hands. That's why I'm calling this Separation Saturday. Alabama A&M and Jackson State. If you remember way back when, don't ask me why, but I picked Jackson State to win the East this year. And if Jackson State can find a way to beat Alabama A&M, and if Southern happens to beat Alcorn, then that changes the dynamics in the East. So there are a lot of moving parts that are going on right now within the weekend of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And I would be remiss if I were not to give accolades to the Morgan State Bears as they pulled off what many are going to say the upset of the year. Morgan State takes care of business with North Carolina A&T winning by the score of 16-13, which has created a unique scenario now for what could happen on the MEAC side of things. And with that being said, it's now going to have us give a game of the week from the MEAC side. Would have to be right now North Carolina Central and FAMU, as that can shape up right now, because we know North Carolina Central is one of your tougher teams. FAMU is still trying to figure themselves out, but now this is a sense of Central Eagles smelling blood and taking advantage of opportunities. It's a huge week this week in the world of HBCU. We have something so special in line for you this week. We do know and understand that it is the State Fair Classic, and that doesn't need any hype up between Grambling and Prairie View. We know the significance of this game that's coming up. But what I have for you guys on this week, especially if you're PV Nation, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt you're going to appreciate it from beginning to end. It's a critical time in PV land, and we're ready for what it has to offer. The Ghost Coach Eric Dooley and the Mighty Panthers taking on Coach Roderick Fobbs and the Grambling State Tigers. We're going to have it coming to you hot and heavy all week long. I am the radio guy, the doctor, Mike Prince. Thank you all so much for your support and listening to the Open Mic Broadcast Network and the Mike Prince Show and all the other programming that we provide here through this network. Don't forget, our 24-hour message line is 713-570-6736. You can dial that line 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Leave your thoughts, questions, comments, or concerns, and we'll take care of it to the best of our ability. Don't forget to visit the website at obnradio.com. Become a listening partner today. At only 17 cents a day, your donation can and does make a difference. The Instagram and the Twitter account handles are The Mike Prince Show. The YouTube channel is the Open Mic Broadcast Network. I must exit stage left. I'm out of time for right now. But until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.